I think we're live.
Yeah.
It says we're live?
It says live on my screen, certainly.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find it on your page.
Yeah, it's come on. It's come on now. Cool. Let me just get the window open.
Oh, I found it. Right, I need to mute it.
Sweet. Because I have got
Richard's in there, so people can see us. That's working.
Cool. Hey everyone, Tom here. We've had a few technical issues. Mainly, I'm an idiot. So that's the main technical issue. Ignore the 12-second video of me going, what's this? And then just looking really weirdly at the screen. So apologies. I tried to be all fancy with a thumbnail and stuff, but it failed epically. So yeah, just sort of do a quick live video today because I have bought a box of goodness.
Oh my god, I didn't realise it was that much.
Yeah, loads.
Oh, it's not as deep as I thought. Okay, what's that? About 4 or 5 kilos or something?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, yeah, probably. So yeah, thought I'd get Nick on to school me on Magic the Gathering because I used to play as a kid and I've forgotten it all. So yeah, hey Nick.
Hey, how are you doing?
Yeah.
Can't believe you've forgotten how to set up a hangout already.
I know.
I was going to share something with you quick before we get on to that. Check this out. Charity Shop Finds. You'll like this.
Ooh,
I was seduced by the box. The actual console, it's a DS Lite for those that are wondering. It's a little bit...
mate, I'd sell them separate.
You think?
Well, actually, I'm not sure because if the serial numbers match, I'd sell them together. The ones on the box to the actual thing.
Is the serial number on the box?
On some,
I'm not sure.
Some of them are. I know, like the 2DS, it is.
Oh no, I don't think so on this. But yeah, it was 15 quid. But I'm now thinking that's all a bit floppity doppity, but it works perfectly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought, I never see them with a mint box.
No, that's what I mean. That you might be off better selling the boxes like to collectors. Maybe potentially. That's nice, mate. And it's a charity shop as well.
Yeah, it was okay price wise. I'd be happier, like I say, if it wasn't swinging in the wind.
Yeah, because especially if you've got some crummy DS games, you can sort of bundle with it. You know,
there's 2 in the box. It's weird. You know, normally it has a card insert. That's all missing, which is a shame, to be honest, because the collectors have wanted that. Instead, you've got the joys of the American version of Brain Training.
Oh, wow.
And Puzzler collection. So, yeah, they're crap.
Yeah.
Anyway, happy days.
So, I'll just go into the chat. So, use Lurking. Got Richard Payne, Southwest Sellers. Oh, we've got Peter Ray. I've got Tat on the Tyne, Dylan, Pete's Retro Collectibles. I've got Karen. Oh, Karin. Damn it, sorry.
Oh, Karin says, can you say hello to Dan the electrician?
Oh.
For a bit. Dan, can you hear me? Dan the electrician.
The man, the myth, the legend.
If you need electrical work doing in the northeast area, call Dan.
Yeah.
He's your man.
Yes, Richard, I have been buying, but this was a couple of weeks ago. The car boot, I think she wanted 8 and I paid 6 quid for all of these. The other reason why I went on it, I won't show the address label, but it went to somebody who works at Games Workshop. So I don't know why, it just made me think, I bet he's got some good stuff. And apparently it was this person's grandson who had them years ago, and then, well, I think they're fairly recent. So,
the address on the box is a Games Workshop.
Yeah, because Games Workshop's based in Nottingham. The factory is. It's going to somebody there, which is like Nerd Mecca.
So not a shop, the actual
place. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so it's
that could be good or bad, because if they know what they're doing, they might have just fished out all the cards and sold you all the commons.
Yeah, which is also a thing. So, but yeah, I thought for 6 quid.
even if they're all commons, you're not going to lose any money on that volume, I wouldn't have thought.
Yeah. So basically I was like, because I've had them before. I had some from the 90s, which God, when was that? It was about a year ago, something like that. I ended up sending them down to Vinny, and he's just said they were a load of rubbish. And so that really put me off them for ages, because I thought, oh, they're from 97. There's going to be some real good ones in there. And he was just like, no, sorry, mate, a load of rubbish. So, yeah.
The trouble is, and I think I said this in a couple of videos about, it's the same in most trading cards. 90% are worth a penny if you're lucky.
Yeah.
And it's down to knowledge and a little bit of research as to whether you can find out if you've got some good stuff in there. The cool thing about Magic that I'm sure you know anyway is that the little set symbol on them, the color indicates its rarity. So you can sift through quite quickly and find out what you've got. Have you had a go at that yet?
No, I have done literally nothing. I vaguely remember how to play it, vaguely, because I used to have the computer game as well, which was amazing. The computer game was so good because it actually, you could get cards which in reality you would never get, like really hard to find cards. So I remember and also then you didn't have to buy loads of Magic cards. But yeah, I remember obviously the sort of things. But yeah, talk me through it anyway. These are dated like 2012, 2011. I'll show some to the screen. Just
right. So on the little bar where it says the creature type, which is spirit, and then further along it says M12.
Yeah,
M12 is the set.
Okay.
If that symbol there is in black, so that's a common card, which
I see.
Which will mean almost certainly it's worth a penny or two. Weirdly, some commons are sought after for certain reasons, but yeah, again, so that's an instant, and it's got a black set symbol.
Yeah, black steps. So even though it's a symbol, that's for the set. Oh, okay.
Yeah, because they issue, I don't know what it is, a couple of sets a year maybe, and each one has a different set symbol.
There's a different one there.
Okay, so that's silver, so that's an uncommon.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they have marginally more value.
Okay.
Let me grab a few.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea. I'm just, rather than people just sitting with my head down here going through them all, it might be interesting for people to. I just thought it's, if he's gonna, I was gonna just call you up and have a chat, but I thought it might benefit others if we're chatting about it and that sort of thing.
I tell you what, it's one of those kind of rabbit hole things. It's a bit like Lego.
Yeah.
The amount of time it takes you to sort through and find cards that might be worth something, you then think, I could have spent that hour putting together an FBA shipment and earned a few $100.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's, I don't know if it's on me right now, but there's one that's got a gold symbol. But even that is worth very little, that particular one. So to make it worthwhile, I'm selling a play set, because in a deck, if you're actually playing the game, you can only have a maximum of 4 cards. So in any collection, there's not really much point in having more than 4, but people like to buy them in a set of 4.
Okay.
But that, I don't know what I've got that listed for, might be £4 or £5. So you can see that even the rares aren't worth a great deal. But I do have some individual cards in here that I've sold for, or are on sale for £20, £30, that sort of thing. But they are like hen's teeth.
Yeah, I mean, I it's like Pokemon cards. I've had them before, and then I've sold some good ones. And the other thing I want to talk is about condition, because I know I've had returns on some Pokemon cards before where they're curved slightly. I mean, these aren't bad. This is probably the most curved one. It's got a little curve to it, but
yeah, with Magic, the foil cards, which can be worth a premium, they tend to curve much more because of the construction of them. I think it's the same with Pokemon. The foil kind of messes them up.
Yeah, I suppose it's got that tension on one side of it, which isn't balanced out on the other side. Yeah.
If I've got any examples. Most of the foil stuff I had has gone now.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a foil. You might be able to see it shining.
Yeah.
Which, oh, yeah, that one isn't actually a good example. That one's really good. That's mint, but yeah, foils. And again, don't be seduced by foils, because they may have virtually no value.
I've made that mistake with Pokemon cards before where I'm like, oh my God, there's so many shinies in here. Yeah.
So,
I'm just trying to see if there's anything.
what are you thinking with that bundle then? Are you going to spend the time and sift through?
Yeah, I'll probably sift through and pick out some of the things. The other thing I didn't know if you'd considered was I was just faffing about the internet, and there's quite a few listings on Amazon for Magic cards.
What's used? I didn't think you could sell them used.
Well, it appears the ones I looked at were, but I don't know. You know, sometimes you see listings where it's like people are just chancing it. So yeah,
I'm going to do a quick search. I remember ages ago, I tried to find if I used to sell Magic in commons in bundles of 100, and I'd sell so many of them. I used to have in stock tens of thousands of cards. And back then, there certainly wasn't any listings for used cards on Amazon.
Yeah, let me just
go and have a search, see if I can find it.
Yeah, have a little look. Let me just. Oh, we've got Z-Dog in the house as well.
Hey, he's here. How you doing?
The mythical person who. Yeah, let's have a quick look. Yes, flipping fantastic finds. Yeah, I've picked these up, and Nick's just schooling me on them, so it's just a bit of a chat.
50 Magic the Gathering assorted rares. Okay, so there's a listing there. That is interesting. I've been selling off rares that aren't worth doing on their own. I was doing 100 for 25 quid, sold a few bundles, and I've reduced them to 20 quid. So that's not bad, actually.
Yeah, I saw some of these mixed ones, but then I wasn't sure how the customers would respond to that, because the lucky dip aspect of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, they do sell well because, you know, rare cards are more powerful cards, and people will take that chance.
Got a shiny one
there. That's interesting that you can sell used ones on there. It's got a good rank, 42,500 in toys and games.
Yeah, I found the first shiny one. So Dreadwater. It's a.
What color is the symbol on it?
Black. It's not focusing. Sorry.
Dreadwater. And it's foil.
Yeah, because another thing I've done with Pokemon cards before is if I, for some reason, couldn't track it down or didn't know the name or that sort of thing, I use the Amazon Seller app, and you know the scan thing where it's all the little things where you hover over something, the cover of a book or whatnot.
Yeah,
and it tells you what it is. So, do you see what I mean?
What, Amazon tell you what the card is?
Yeah, because the Amazon Seller app have got this thing called Flow, where if there isn't a barcode, you can just hover.
Yeah, I use that on media and stuff.
But I've done it on Pokemon cards before.
How weird.
Yeah.
Another good tip with particularly Magic, there's a site. There's various sites that sell them, like websites that sell just trading cards. One I use Mana Leak, so MANA Leak. And they have every single card that's ever issued and a kind of going rate. So that's a quick way of finding out if it has any value.
So is that like Bricklink?
Yeah, pretty much. They just buy collections of cards, or they just open seal packs and sell them off.
Yeah.
How do you spell that foil you've got? Is it DREAD Water, all one word?
Waters, yeah, with an S on the end.
Dread Waters, with an S, right?
Dread Waters, yeah.
I couldn't find it. Someone trying to sell it for £1.
Hey.
Let's have a look.
While you're doing that, I'll just have a look in the chat. Pete's Retro Collectibles has put sell by weight mystery factor selection.
Yeah, I don't think that foil is really worth anything.
No, I've got another one here. It's a silver one called Pillar of War.
Oh, is that an artifact card? Yeah. Pillar of War.
Pillar of War.
Oh, is that a foil again?
Yeah. Richard Payne's put bargain for £6. I was just trying to pick up some different stuff because there's a lot of resellers in Nottingham, and media's getting very, very crowded, especially at the boots. So I'm just trying to look at different avenues, really. It probably do me head in like Lego does. I mean, I've virtually given up. If it's not new and sealed, I'm not bothering with Lego. I can't be bothered.
So is that PILLAR of War?
Yeah, Pillar of
I
War.
can't find any completeds on that.
Yeah, they are PILLAR of War.
Yeah, no, I can't find any completeds.
Hmm.
So probably not. I could find. Let me just check on Manalik. But yeah, it's kind of, it's another way. It is very much like Lego. I mean, like you, I was into this and had a big quite a large collection myself, and used to buy and sell it in the shop when we had the shop.
Yeah.
So I kind of enjoy sorting through this, and I half know what I'm looking for anyway. I mean, nowhere near the level of knowledge that someone like Vinny, who's full-time dealing with trading cards and Warhammer and all of that, he knows values off the top of his head. But I knew enough and feel comfortable enough looking at this stuff that it's not really a chore for me, but it's a lot of work.
Yeah. I mean, I went into Toys R Us when they were closing to check out what Pokemon and Magic cards they got, and apparently, as soon as it was announced that they were going in, the company, company that owns Magic the Gathering, went straight in and took all their cards back straight away. They were never on offer, that sort of thing.
Interesting. Yeah.
Same with Pokemon cards.
To be reduced, did they?
Yeah, because they were saying it devalues their brand.
Yeah, I can understand that. I nearly picked up a load of trading cards from my local Toys R Us, but it was games I've not heard of, and it was when the discounts weren't really deep. So I ummed and ahed. I probably should have got them. I can't even remember what they were now. It's like a new game, similar, like a copy of Magic. Damn, what was it called? Can't remember now.
The only cards I did get were, was it called something Watch? It's made by the people who do Pokemon.
Don't know.
I keep thinking of Yu-Gi-Oh, but it's not that. It's what's it called? Somebody's Watch anyway. So if someone in the chat knows what the hell I'm on about, they came out with games as well on the 3DS.
Right, on Manalik, that foil uncommon Pillar of War, they are selling it for 70p.
Hey, well, I'm getting there.
Let's see, so that is a good example because it's not worth the time and effort, you see. And this is, if anyone, it's actually a good thing that we're not finding an amazingly valuable card, because we'll give people the wrong impression.
Yeah, I think that's the important bit that I don't, like with all things, it's like coins. You can give me a huge tub of coins and there won't be anything in there. Well, you saw me with that collection. It was your granddad's. You rattle through it fairly quickly.
Yeah. Did you ever do anything with that, or is that still in your collection?
Did
you sell a load of that on?
Yeah, I sold the silver off, but there was a couple of nice collectible pieces that were like copper. He got some like copper ones that were like mint luster on them, and I kept those.
Yeah. Yeah, it was an interesting collection, but I was never going to do anything with it, and I was happier for you to do whatever you wanted with that.
Yeah, there was some decent ones in there actually, and the other thing was they'd been kept in an all right way as well, which was an unusual way. And talking about condition, actually, with these, do you grade them much when you sell them, or are the collectors as fussy as say Pokemon cards?
The collectors are really fussy, but it depends. If someone's buying it to play with it in a deck, they're probably not going to be that worried.
Yeah.
I just take front, and if I can be bothered, back pictures. If it's a card that's a particular value that I'm asking, say 10 quid or beyond, do front and back. Try and get some close-ups. If you can see any visible damage, take a close-up picture of it, and then just describe it. I just describe it in layman's terms. I don't know what. I mean, I do use terms like mint or near mint, but then I go into it and say, just try and kind of describe it in normal language. And also, I think I was putting, I'm not an expert, please see the pictures, blah, blah, blah. I've not had any trouble, touch wood, this time. The last few months, I sold off hundreds and hundreds. So
you're setting yourself up for a for item not as described, I guess. It's like with coins, if you say somebody's idea of near mint or whatnot is very different to somebody else's.
Yeah, I did sell a few as mint out of packet because I had a load of promo stuff. When I used to do tournaments for Magic the Gathering, I used to get sent loads of sealed packs of prize cards, and I had loads of them that I'd squirreled away So I was selling them as brand new and mint.
Southwest Sellers is it's Yokai Watch. YOU-KAI. I bought some of their cards because it was season 1, and I thought, well, if the Pokemon company is trying to push it as the new Pokemon, you never know. So I've just chucked them in the garage and forgotten about them. So
yeah. Someone's saying, Clune Trooper says some Magic cards have sold for over $10,000. Yeah, and they continue to, and prices continue to rise. But that is like a tiny percentage of 1% of all the cards are anywhere near that, and they're cards from the initial like alpha set or whatever, which was issued in such tiny numbers because the game had only just formed. And
I remember the whole Black Lotus thing.
That's the one,
even when I first started. Even to this day, I remember that because you see it on these programs like Storage Wars and all that, and miraculously they find one in about 20 cards. There's one in there, so I do feel like this, and with collectible 50p's, for example, there's a fake news. There's a false rumor that they're all worth money. So I'm constantly getting people going, "I've got a Peter Rabbit 50p. Can I sell it for 50 quid?" And no, go away.
Yeah.
So
I'm just going to do a search.
So I'm just seeing if I can see anything.
Gathering job lot commons and just see.
Do you ever put them in sets, as in what set they're from, or when you sell them, do you just mix them?
No, what I have done recently and had more success with is put them in a job lot of elf cards, for example, or a job lot of artifacts, creatures, or a job lot of zombies, job lot of vampires. I was getting like 50 to 100 or whatever of those, including a nice selection of rares and then all the commons and uncommons, and then sell that for 20, 30 quid. Whereas that's kind of more than the value of the cards, because somebody might be deck building a vampire deck or an elf deck. It's like the time you're saving them and collecting up a whole bunch of those cards, it's worth them the extra money. And that worked to clear a load of stuff. I did a goblin job lot as well, but I haven't done them by set. No.
I've got what's that? Clone Trooper. For cards and comics, I never say condition. I say refer to pictures. Yeah, the same. I've got a load of comics that I need to get listed.
Yeah, that's probably a wise way of doing it, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I was dabbling with merchant fulfilling comics on Amazon, but again, you've got to put a condition on them, so it makes it really difficult. So all I was doing is I was setting it to the lowest possible condition and under promise and over deliver. But then I'm like, well, then am I leaving stuff on the table by doing that? So I took them down in the end because I just thought I'm setting myself up for issues.
Mm. Yeah, Kelly flipping fantastic finds was saying everything I sell is pre-owned, good condition, never excellent or like new. And I think that, that's wise. If you under promise and over deliver. Yeah. I suppose, I mean, I've been using, near mint and terms like that, but then kind of covering myself by taking some decent pictures and asking them to take a look at that as well.
Yeah, because I remember there was a thing on eBay. I don't know if it's still the case, but if you put the term like new in the title, it would trigger a warning.
Yeah, you can put it in the condition box.
Yeah, but you can put it in the condition. Yeah. I remember that. Oh, we've got Z put in that his daughter was mad for Yu-Gi-Oh cards and has bought a load for her ages ago. Not sure. Some can be worth a little, but most are worth noting, I guess.
Yeah, I've got
with nothing.
I've never played Yu-Gi-Oh, even though I did organise a couple of tournaments back in the day. But these are all full, and they just sit there gathering dust. And I'm probably just going to bundle them up. But I know I've got some valuable ones. So then I think, I should take the time to go through. I don't know if these are the valuable ones. Turbo Warrior foils. I've got a bunch of them.
I've got a load of those somewhere, but God knows where they are. But
might look that one up now.
What about this one, Nick? I've never seen one like that before.
Hang on, let me click back on the hang up.
Can
Oh
you see
yeah,
it?
it's like a dual card. You can play one or the other.
I've never seen one of those before. I don't think they were around when I used to play it.
I think it's quite a recent thing.
Yeah.
I was selling loads of different dual ones all together, and they haven't really sold very well. Like a bundle of 20 or 30 different dual cards all together, and there wasn't much demand, so there's not a lot in them. But yeah, I mean, how people watching who don't play Magic, it's all based on colors. So you can either play similar to Pokemon, really, isn't it? You have to pay to get these cards out, and you have to pay the right color. Whereas that card Tom just showed is black or red. So you can choose to play one or the other. Or I think you can play both if you've got the black and the red cost.
Yeah, that would really mix up the game, actually. That's quite interesting.
Oh, they've messed about with all sorts of things with the mana costs over the years.
Yeah.
They've had split ones, which you can pay with either light green or black or green or white or red or blue. And yeah, it's fun. I've got rid of my actual decks that I used to use now, so I've got nothing left to play with.
That's an interesting one. Clone Troopers put, I don't like scanned cards. I think taking nice clear pictures is best. I never even considered doing it that way. Now, another quick question, Nick, is how do you send them? Do you send them in these sort of please do not bend styly ones, or do you?
No, well, what I've been doing, and it's only what I've been doing, I'm sure many people would differ. Well, they're in these little envelopes filed away so I can find them quick.
Yeah.
And then all I've been doing is, if it's only, for example, 2 there, I don't know if I'm selling that individually now, I've got 2 available, but let's say I sold 2, I will then get a little card sleeve, and I've got loads of these left over from when we had the shop. These things, chuck them in, but I'd add a couple of common cards to it. So then it's like 4 deep and it won't bend. Yeah. And then what I've been doing is just wrapping it in an A4 bit of paper to give it that bit of extra stability and putting it in.
Yeah, because these cost about, I think I pay about 19p, 19p for them.
Yeah, it would soon eat into
it. Yeah.
Because I've been going as low as $2.99 a lot on cards. Because then after there goes a letter, so it's very cheap, but there's not a great deal in it. But yeah, the ones that were going for £10 to £20 or beyond kind of made up for the bog standard cheap stuff.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I'll probably end up looking through these and see if I can find any shiny ones or any rare ones. But the rest I'll probably just end up job lotting into, of their ilk, if that makes sense. Just for speed, because I'm all about speed these days, especially on eBay. I'm spoilt by the Amazon mentality.
Yeah, I searched Magic the Gathering job lot commons, just in case you ended up just saying I'm just going to job lot it. So somebody here, 6,000 bulk job lot commons. I think that's more than you probably got. They got 50 quid. But there's somebody there with a box full. Got £3 with £22 postage. What?
Ooh. So I'm making money on the postage there.
Yeah. Bulk collection, job lot, 1,000 commons, $16.99. Looking at the size of your box, you've got a few thousand. What's that?
Just found another one, don't worry.
What, another rare one?
Yeah. Sorry, you were saying by the size of what? Sorry.
Yeah, it's hard to judge how many you've got in there, but just bring it up again. Yeah, somebody, Magic the Gathering bulk collection, job lot, 1,000 commons, $16.99 plus shipping, so about 20 quid for 1,000. That's pretty good going. Yeah. That is really good going for common cards.
That's just for the black common ones.
Yeah.
There seems to be quite a lot of the silver ones in here.
Okay. Well, most uncommons won't be worth any more.
Yeah.
So you will find, if you go to the length of looking up individual ones, you will find the odd common card that is worth doing.
That's the thing.
And it's what do you do? Look up because some common cards are.
Yeah. Someone put in the chat, I've missed who it was now, but it's like the Peter Rabbit ones. They're all over Facebook Marketplace. People wanting them. So, yeah. What about things like these? What do you do? What do you
That is
personally...
just a basic land worth nothing.
So do you just chuck these in with the
my little things?
Yeah.
I used to sell bundles of land, but eBay is absolutely saturated in it now, and there's no money in it. In fact, I've got a crate like this at the back of the office that's just full of land.
Those Royal Mail crates are brilliant. They're really good.
They're so sturdy. I used to have so many, but I was like just saving them because they're really handy, and then I ended up with about 50 of the things, and I just took a car full back to the Royal Mail and dumped them there.
Yeah, because they are technically property of the Royal Mail. But so when I've had returns from Amazon on the big purges, you know, where you have stuff sent back, I've had a few of those, and I've got like a few here. They're brilliant, really. This is what I was making noise about. We've got two more shiny ones, which isn't focusing.
So that's a shiny common then.
Yeah, they're both common. This one's called Warclap Mastiff, as in the dog, and then Maze Sentinel.
Okay.
So,
to give you an idea, I think I sold 100 common foils for about 25 quid.
Wow.
So there's not a lot in them. But again, some are. It's like, I wish there was an easy...
Yeah.
Like, this is what to do, but it's not.
Yeah, I guess it's
not for the faint-hearted at all, this. It's nightmare.
You're making me think. Job lot box, not even look at them, get it done. But then the FOMO is like, you know, it flags your head.
You might have a 30 quid card in there.
Yeah, man.
I would say it's probably worth sitting down with a beer, watching a film one evening, and just flick through them and pull out the gold ones and just look up them.
Yeah.
And if they're not worth anything individually, do a job lot of say 20 rares for a few quid, maybe get your money back on that, and then flog the rest.
Yeah. He's put, all I know about Yu-Gi-Oh is Blue Eyes White Dragon is and the one made of parts. I've had that Blue Eyes White Dragon one before, and I sold it on eBay, but it was fake.
Oh, there's loads of fake Yu-Gi-Oh!
But this was like about 7 years ago when I was reselling part-time. So,
it doesn't tend to be fake Magic the Gathering. I'm sure it has been faked, especially the rare ones, but I've never come across that. But definitely Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, that was one thing I was going to say, actually, about fakes. Got for comics,
Black Rose Dragon here. Does anyone know if that's any good? Black Rose Dragon foil. Talking Yu-Gi-Oh again. I know nothing about Yu-Gi-Oh. It's shameful.
Really? Oh, that's interesting that you.
I've got two of them. We used to sell so much of this when it was in its heyday in the early 2000s. We were buying boxes full of the booster packs and just selling out all the time. We were coining it in on these. But I never played it, so I have no real interest in it.
Yeah, because I know some people can. Yeah, some people do really well on that sort of stuff.
Vinny does. You just asked Vinny about how much he sells cards for. He shared some sales with me that just blew my mind.
Yeah. Got someone. Oh, someone put in. I've missed it now. Saying that they list. Where is it? They list comics and graphic novels on Amazon, and they list as acceptable, like what I was saying, you know, under promise and over deliver.
Yeah, I think that's a good rule of thumb.
Yeah.
Oh, Peter says no, not really. To be honest, Nick, on the Black Rose Dragon. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've got so much of this.
Yeah, I could do like an epic 14-hour stream and just show everybody each individual card, and they could look them up.
Hold them up. Yeah.
You know, like you did, was it the wrestling figures or something? And then instantly,
yeah,
that was cool. That was.
I'll tell you the funny thing about that video. That must be like 2 years ago. I showed a haul of wrestling figures, about 50 figures, and I said, "I know nothing about wrestling. Can you tell me who these are?" Still to this day, people are commenting and naming them all.
No way.
Yeah.
Like I messaged you the other night. I sold some on Amazon to John Cena the other day. I was like, okay. I've just got to be a fake name because
Well, it was John Cena of, what was it, Middlesbrough or something?
No, Oldham. I was like, I don't think he's moved to Oldham. I just get that feeling that, yeah. So, right, let's have a look at the chat while I'm faffing about with these.
We've also, when we were chatting the other night, and I think it's not a terrible idea, I was showing you some silver that you were getting excited about.
Yeah.
And here's you with a box of Magic the Gathering, which is already starting to freak you out. You should probably just do a stock swap.
Yeah, I should stop faffing about with these and just pass them on.
I think Gary's still in the chat. I've still got this silver, Gary, that you were trying to help me out with ages ago.
Because it's just oh, sorry.
I'm so clueless. There's some really lovely bits in here, though. I reckon a cigarette case is worth selling on its own.
Yeah, as long as it's not dented, it's worth selling on its own.
I don't know. It's a
That's not too bad. Has it got any initials on it?
Yep. D.H.McW.
They always do.
Sounds like some old army captain or something. Yeah, it's so far out of my comfort zone.
Well, hopefully if I'm coming down for the meetup, I can have a look at then and let you know, really.
Yeah. I was thinking when I spoke to you of just auctioning this off when we do the charity thing.
Yeah, which we do need to sort out. Let's just check the chat. Someone's saying go through and pick out all the shinies. Basically what he said.
Yeah, if you only pick out the ones with gold symbols and any foils and look those up, and then if there's none that are worth £5 or more, bundle them. That would be a pretty simple way of doing it. You've still got to literally look at the face of every card in that box. Yeah. If you're doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. As much as I love beer and movies, I think that's I'm starting to question why I bought it, but it's one of those days, when you're walking around the car boot, and I arrived at this one a bit later because I'd been to one before, and I've seen some of my media competitors that have sort of near the end of the car boot. I'm like, there's going to be nothing here. It turns out I did get some good stuff, but one of my first purchases was this, like a desperation purchase.
I had to have a really stern conversation with myself when, whilst I was sorting out this last huge job lot that I'm still selling off, in the middle of doing that, and I found it was about 2,000 or 3,000 cards some bloke wanted, but it's all modern stuff. And I think he wanted 15. I'm sure I could have got it for 10, but I had to have a chat with myself and just say no, Nick. Got too many.
Well, I bought some bloody, excuse my language, match attack cards. I'm like, why have I bought these? I paid like £2 for like 2 sandwich bags full. I'm like, I know nothing about football at all. I barely watch the World Cup. So why have I bought these? And I was just like, in the garage.
Did I tell you what I did with all of my match attacks?
No, I don't think you did.
I ended up doing 2 massive bundles, and I mean like 10 kilos worth. And I think I got 60 odd on one bundle and 75 on the other bundle. And when you're buying the albums at 50p each, it works. But that's the only one. I've still got a box full of the rare ones that are sat up there somewhere, which I haven't done anything with. So
when you mean the rare ones, you mean like the foil type ones, or just?
Yeah, I can't remember how they word it.
No, I can't. I did look into it, but
how was it? Limited edition, and then they've got like bronze version, and where are we? And certain players go up. Limited edition. See, there's a Rooney limited edition gold that probably the chat saying, no, Nick, it's worth nothing. Throw it away. We've got loads of Rooneys in here. See, there's a Rooney bronze version of the same card, limited edition. So I'm assuming the gold one is the one you want. I don't know.
Yeah. I think with all these sort of things is what I suffer from is the fear of missing out, and the fear of missing out will mean I just don't list them.
Yep. And it gets silly. We're exactly the same, Tom. Like, what's the point in those been sat on my shelf a year since I sold the job lot off? And I'm now going to put them back on a shelf.
Totally. The battle's real in that sense, and I'm sure people get that. Other people get that. It happens if you're trying to build a bundle. I've just recently got a load of Harry Potter books. I've decided I'm not doing Harry Potter book bundles anymore because my niece has got into Harry Potter. So I've just given them all to her because I just thought I just can't be bothered. They just take up too much space. I do see loads of them, but
I just read Gary Southwest Seller says, still here, Nick. Send me some pics by PM of the markings. We'll let you know the manufacturers' names and dates. Okay, I will try and do that. Yeah, I've got your Messenger. What I did order actually for that very purpose was a little add-on. Where the hell's it gone?
The clip-on magnifier for your phone. Yeah, I got one of them. Pretty sweet.
Is it any good?
Yeah, it's quite often you have to take the phone out of a case, but they're pretty good. Huh?
Yeah, I think it was like £3 or £4.
Yeah, they come from China, and
sorry, I'm making lots of noise.
I've lost mine, but yeah, I'd highly recommend people getting one of those, especially if you're selling and listing jewelry and stuff online. You get some cracking photos. You have to crop the outside off, but
okay, yeah. So it's like that's going to clip on my phone, and then you screw in either that lens, or that lens. So what I should be able to do, Gary, I'll have a play around with this maybe this evening, and take some pictures of the hallmarks and stuff. And if there's anything any good in there, be interesting.
You can also get other ones where it's got a light on it as well, and they're pretty cool because it actually shines a light on it.
Right, yeah.
Get some photos. So I'd highly recommend getting them. They're so super cheap.
I've got a head torch. I could sit there with my head torch on them a little.
Because I had to. This isn't about trading cards, but I had to have them to look at this, which is a ring I got recently. Sorry, my hands are all cut up from doing some work the other day. And it's called an honor ring, and it's
a skull.
Yeah, it's a Nazi one also. Was it?
Oh really?
Yeah. So where's the? That's
got a swastika on it.
Yeah. I don't know if it's focusing. Almost focusing.
Just about make it out.
Yeah. Sort of there. Just there. And on the inside, it's got some dude's name, and then it says like the 21st of May, 42. So, yeah, I bought that in a job lot of silver, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with it. I feel like wrong just holding it. It feels a bit weird.
Yeah. So, would you can't sell that on eBay then?
No, not at all. No. So
Kelly was saying there's 3 lenses. I don't know.
So they are good because you can also use them just to hold them in front of your eye to look at what what things are said.
Oh wow, yeah, you have to get really close.
Wow, God, you're super loud on the microphone then.
Numpty award goes, Nick.
Rest in peace, headphone users.
Yeah. So, all right, Gary, I will endeavour to do that. That'd be interesting.
We've got James in the chat going, got a massive job lot of Star Wars Topps Force Attack cards. No idea how best to sell them. I'd never even heard of those.
Yeah. Just get on eBay, find out if individual ones sell. If not, work out a price for a job lot.
Yeah. When I was young, I never used to do the well, I did Magic, but I did like the stickers. You get the sticker albums and those sort of things. I was nuts for the stickers.
What, the football ones?
Yeah, like the football ones, and then they did other ones as well. But I hadn't got a clue who any of the players were. I just wanted them all, man. I just needed a fix. I don't know why. It was silly, really.
It's that collector element, the hoarder. I was into lots of that. I didn't so much do the stickers because my mum wouldn't buy them for me.
Yeah,
and I was always skint, so I collected postcards and all of that stuff that people would give me. Ended up with boxes full of crap.
And then I got into Pogs. That was a big one, Pogs. Because it was that you could win them off people, so I wouldn't be buying them; I'd just be sort of winning them through that way. So then I didn't even have to spend money; I just got it off other people, kind of thing.
Oh, Kelly reckons one of them separates.
Yeah, and then really from Magic, I just got into Games Workshop really from that, I guess. Which again is another world where it's like you can just go down the rabbit hole with research.
What, the figures, you mean?
Yeah, totally.
Definitely. I've dabbled in it, as I'm sure most people are aware, but I don't really know much about it. I've briefly played it, like at the end of the 80s, but nah.
I've still got all my figures somewhere. I think they'll be in my dad's attic somewhere.
No way.
Yeah.
Blimey.
And because I went to, I used to go to Games Day, which I don't know if they still do it, which is the big thing at the National Indoor Arena. Yeah, it was, yeah. And they'd have a limited edition figure from that year's Games Day. And I've got all my Games Day figures still in the packaging. So I really should seek those out and see if they're worth anything.
Yeah, I bet they are. If they were limited runs of official figures, they're bound to be, surely.
Yeah. What they used to do at the Nottingham factories, you used to be able to go along and you could look at their back catalogue and like pick out one out of a catalogue, and then they just go and cast it for you. So like some of the ones from the 90s, like you used to be able to go look, and I had some. I was like, oh, can I get this one, this one, this one, and then they cast them up for you, which is mental.
Those guys must have caned it in. You imagine? I mean, wow, because that's an international brand now. Games Workshop's huge.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. So
I've got a really dry throat. Apologies.
Let's just have a quick look in the chat, and then we'll sort of wrap up because we're sort of. Yeah, Richard Payne's put FOMO is why I have about 10 crates of unlisted Lego in my storage. Yeah.
Yeah, I've kind of changed more and more recently that I'm happy at a job lot and bundle and move on and in and out quicker. But then again, there was a bit of a chat on the chat group today about saving stuff for Q4 is a waste of time, this, that, and the other. And me and a few other people were saying, but it really isn't. When you can maximize, you can get 2 or 3 times the money for certain products in December than you would in August. So it works for me. But I understand that some people they were just saying, get it, list it, sell it, move on.
Yeah,
but for me, it's kind of mix of the two now. It's weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been very much like saving stuff, but then I've saved stuff by accident because of being a hoarder. So sometimes you can land on your feet in that sense. Because I bought some Lego. It was God, it was like I think it was after Christmas, not last year, the year before. It's whenever the first Ant-Man film came out, which was a while ago, and Sainsbury's was selling off this Ant-Man set that was about, I don't know, it was smaller than that. You know, one of the sort of smaller sets that you get.
Yeah.
And I think I paid like £6 for it or something, £6.99 or something like that. Anyway, I bought 2 of them, and they got put in a box to go to FBA, and then I'd put a load of boxes to go to FBA in my garage with like tools and stuff. Totally forgot about them. I was going in my garage to look for a screwdriver to do some DIY. I was like, oh my God, there's these FBA boxes. And they sat there for like a year. The bottom one was trashed because it got wet through the floor. But in the top of that box, there was these 2 Lego sets. So I thought, oh, well, I'll send them in the next box. So as I was listing away doing this, I looked up and the set had become obsolete and the new Ant-Man film was coming out. So the price had gone mental. And I sold them both within a couple of weeks of each other for $79.99 each.
Bloody
Just
hell.
Crazy for this tiny little set. And I've had positive feedback on both of them. And I was like, that's just mental. That buy and hold.
There was a figure in it that was the only set you could buy the figure in. Because sometimes that's why the sets go crazy, isn't it? Because there's a figure that was only ever issued in there.
Yeah.
It's like
So
the Cloud City set that's got a bunch of figures you can't get anywhere else, and that goes for hundreds and hundreds.
yeah, totally. So there was a part of me that was like, nah, this is, because sometimes you see on Amazon where the price is just lunacy and it's like a repricer gone mad. And I was like, do you know what? I'm going to merchant fulfill them, just chance it. Crazy.
Happy
So I
day.
do like Lego, but only if it's new and sealed.
As here's just said, really depends on what you're keeping back, what you paid for it, how much space you can afford to store it, and if you can have the money tied up. Yeah, exactly.
Totally.
I mean, but some things like I've got a bunch of cosmetics in the loft. If I tried to sell them now, I'd probably barely break even.
Yeah.
But I know, because I've been doing it for the last 3 or 4 years, I will probably quadruple my money at Christmas. If I tried selling it now, it would be a waste of time.
I mean, I've got some of the similar, without going into about them, I've got some of the similar ones. And I was like, do I list them now? And then I thought, oh no, because I could still price them high and just still have them listed, but then you're paying listing fees and all that sort of stuff. So
yeah, I went mad on it this year. Got into loads of different niches on cosmetics and
yeah, I'm just hoping because some of them I've stored in the loft, like yourself, that they're going to be okay and not like a pile of goo.
Yeah, I know.
Because I've lost some candles.
To find out, we'd have to unseal them.
Yeah, totally.
I'm just gonna send them in.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, just hope for the best, really.
And just hope that they're not all been hazmated, so that we can't send them in because now they're under hazmat review, and we'll have to merchant fulfill it all.
Gosh, yes.
The joy of Amazon.
Yeah, so I think it's everything. Like, I think what here says is very apt, that you've got to just, if you spent quite a lot on stuff, you really need to get that capital back. You can't afford to wait. It depends.
Yeah.
Have we got any questions in the chat before we sum up here? Because it is 7 o'clock. So
see you later, Kelly. She's off to Leah's live chat. Clothing's more my thing. Fair enough.
Well, there's just a little shout out. There is the reseller meetup this Saturday in Chesterfield. I'm going to try and sneak along if I can. So if anybody's anywhere near Chesterfield, Leah is, I think it's the same. I think it's them that's sorting it. I can't remember exactly, but there is a thing in the chat about it.
Oh, Peter's just said, I did sell 2 years ago a shiny Jack Wilshere Match Attacks card for 25 quid. See, now I've got that FOMO again, and I'm going to have to...
What you'll do is you'll pull them down, you'll spend like 2 hours researching them, and then put them back up there.
Oh my God. Yeah, that is so true. And if you do research on cards, you have to action it straight away.
Yeah.
And then list them, because otherwise your research is out of date in a few months, especially with Magic, because cards come in and out of fashion with new rules, new deck structures, new whatever. And what's worth a tenner now might be worth 50p next year. I
made that mistake with Warhammer codexes, that I'd put them in a box, and again, because what I tend to do is I'll get Amazon boxes and fill up a load of boxes and then slowly work through them. But by the time I got to them, a new set had come out, so the value had just gone, completely gone in them.
Yeah.
Which was a shame.
So much stuff, especially with Amazon, is really time sensitive, isn't it?
Totally.
You can really miss the boat.
Yeah, so let's just check the chat. Pete's Retro Collectibles has put, eBay doesn't make enough difference on Q4. Amazon does, though. I don't know. I think on some things, eBay is especially if you're selling like whatever's the in item, it doesn't really matter what platform. Yeah. I mean, last year I didn't hunt for the in item so much, because the years before with like the Chewbacca mask and Pie Face and all that, there's some mental money in that. But last year, I don't know. I just didn't really chase it as much.
No, just reading that comment. My focus has become Amazon for Christmas. I'll be honest. That's where I, throughout the year, I will kind of hedge my bets with stuff and save it for Amazon Q4. And if you can hold out until like middle of December on some things, it blows your mind. People just lose all sense.
Yeah, I remember when
it sells out on a popular product, you can just name your price, and that's when it gets just silly.
I remember with the mask things, the Chewbacca masks. I went to an Argos and I think I bought 4, and I'd sold them before I even got back to my car, which was just ridiculous.
Yeah, I was doing that. I was selling them before I got them, and I think Joe was doing it as well. We both got in a bit of bother with that, and then I had to stop doing it because I was getting to the Argos where I'd reserve them. And then they'd be like, "Oh no, it's a mistake. We don't have 10. We've only got 3." And I was like, "I've already sold them." So yeah, I got in a bit of bother with that.
I remember you doing that. I'd never do the pre-sale thing. I just don't trust them enough, because sometimes I've ordered things and they're like, "Oh, we can't sell you that many, I'm afraid." It's like,
I've never had a bother with it, but I think with this one, the difference was everybody knew about it, and I think that what was happening was the staff were just going and taking them off the reserve piles and buying them. I'm sure of it, because I've in all the years I've bought from Amazon and bought from Argos to sell on Amazon, never had a problem with the inventory numbers in a store. And it just felt like the staff were just taking the piss. And
yeah, I mean, I think what put me off was the NES Mini. That I did all right on it, but there was a bit of a panic at one point that I may have bought too many of them, because I think I bought 26, 24, something like that. I bought quite a lot of them, and they did take a while to shift the last ones. So
yeah, well, they made so many more, and they're cheap again now.
Yeah,
so
well,
they haven't gone up.
Yeah, I mean, those poor people who paid like 100 and something for them. I mean, I saw them in Smith's the other day. They had loads of them.
Yeah, exactly. You can get them for 50 quid off the shelf right now.
Yeah, and I think people went really heavy on the SNES Mini, and I didn't. I think I got 4 or 5, and then you had one off me, didn't you? So I actually didn't go. I'm quite glad I didn't go too mad on those, because Nintendo just made loads of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I've barely played on mine. It's one of those things that, you think you're going to play loads of retro games, but it doesn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't touched mine since you came over that time. So
yeah.
Southwest Sellers has put, sold my last Playmobil set today, bought when Toys R Us were closing. So I didn't buy any Playmobil or Lego in Toys R Us, even down to the bitter end. There was just no money in it. But yet people were storming around buying them, and you could get it cheaper on Amazon still. It's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't touch Lego. There wasn't any money in what I managed to find. I bought a bunch of Thomas gear, and I assumed I was going to have to wait till Q4 talking about that but sent a couple in to try it out, sold them really quick, sent everything in about a month ago, and it's all gone now. There's a couple of big stacks of Thomas playsets.
I didn't miss out, but I chose not to buy. They had a Thomas display. It was like a table, and the Thomas train went in and out and stuff like that. It was 120 quid, but I could barely lift it, and I thought, this is going to be more bother than it's worth. Storing it, local pickup only, nightmare. I did get some Lego display stuff, but then other Lego display stuff that they saved for me, Lego came in, and again, protecting their brand, it had gone. So
yeah, well, that's what my local store said to me. I asked about a Duplo play bench and a Lego thing, and they said, no, none of it's for sale. Lego's taking it all back.
Yeah. And then a lot of it ended up in the skip, and one of my local ones. This is a joke, and I'll sort of roughly end with this: that all this stuff went in the skip, and they actually had to hire a security company to watch the skip. So not only did they throw it away and get no money from it, they had to pay more money to guard the skip so no one took it out there. I mean, it's just lunacy, absolute lunacy.
That's insane.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I think that's pretty much. I think Argos are a bit better this year with bulk buys. FBA UK's put. I know people do great with Argos and sending it to Amazon, but I don't know. There's just not enough time in the day. I'm already.
Yeah, you have to get in right at the beginning.
Laughing about with this stuff.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, because I know Argos a while back had got a load of new and sealed PS2 games that they must have found in a warehouse somewhere. Yeah, and they just went in like a day. It was ridiculous.
Richard says there, didn't bother with the SNES Mini. Sold all my NES mid-December. Was worried about remorse returns after Christmas, but I never had any. Yeah, I got in on the NES and cleared mine super quick. I didn't buy in bulk because I was a bit scared of that. And then SNES, I didn't really touch.
Yeah.
And because I predicted that Nintendo would do it differently, and they did.
Yeah.
So you had to be in and out. Like, luckily, you managed to, Tom, because people, I'm sure, got stuck with loads of inventory on that.
Yeah, I bet people got stuck with loads, really. I mean, I got stuck, with two. One that you had off me, and then one I decided to keep for myself. So that's fine, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can be really done over. Once you pass that, also, you don't want to go back to Argos with 20 off and going, oh, I want to return these. I think there'll be questions on that. So I don't know. I like to dabble in those little bits, do a little bit here, do a little bit there, because then you're still giving the opportunity for people to buy them as well. I don't feel so morally wrong.
Yeah, it's a little bit like spread betting, I guess. I mean, or spreading your, like with stocks and shares. If you dabble in a lot of these deals, it doesn't matter if the odd one goes tits up because you've spread your money out. Whereas if you go big on like the SNES Mini, for example, and that one deal goes pear-shaped and you've put a few grand in it, that's your Christmas ruined, isn't it?
Yeah, totally, yeah. So we've had about 35 people watching. So cheers everyone for tuning in. I hope it's vaguely been useful about the magic cards. I will let you know what I end up doing with them, which will probably be giving them to Nick, or putting them in the shed for a couple more years until they get eaten or go moldy. So, hey.
Well, if nothing happens with it, we'll do a stock swap and have something that I'm never going to list in a million years.
Yeah, well, you listed the cross though, didn't you? That was a big thing. I was dead shocked.
Gold cross sat in my wallet for years. Put it on, and it had gone for 50 quid within a week.
Yeah,
nuts.
Crazy, man. FOMO. So cheers everyone. Have a good evening. Hopefully I'll do a few more live streams, and or I'll be on Nick's channel, is linked in the description, by the way, if you don't know who Nick is. But yeah, hopefully be on the chat at some point. So
yeah, Tuesday back on my channel, I think, after we unfortunately didn't manage to get one out on Tuesday.
I was all of yesterday I was thinking it was Monday, so
yeah, and me and here, it's weird.
Yeah, mass delusion. Anyway, cheers everyone. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you all later.
See ya.